Football is obviously important, but I think the most important thing right now is doing everything we can for our city. I will tell you right now, we're going to dedicate this season to the city of Houston, the people of Houston. There are no guarantees in football. That's not what I'm here to say, but I will guarantee that this team will go out every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whenever they ask us to play, and we'll play our asses off for the city of Houston. I promise you that.
The Houston Texans, an American football team. Just like any other American football team, they rock a red, white, and blue logo, a strange-looking bull, half red and half blue, with a 5-pointed star on one side of its face. Sure, on the surface, that red, white, and blue bull's head does resemble an American flag. But what else does red, white, and blue resemble? What other connections to those colors could the Texans possibly have? That's interesting. The Texas flag. Red, white, blue, star. How about that refreshing can of Pepsi? Red, blue, white. That's interesting. Even in the hit trilogy Star Wars, got the red versus the blue, the Sith versus the Jedi. Even NASA themselves have decided that red, white, and blue is definitely the way to go. Even when it comes to the nation's two most popular political parties, well, red and blue seems to be the way to go. There seems to be a lot of red and blue going on. Even in this beautiful piece of art, we get our second glimpse of the Vesica Pisces, and we see red and blue once again. And in case you're not sure what a Vesica Pisces is, this is a Vesica Pisces. When two circles overlap and come together, they create this middle piece, which is called a Vesica Pisces, and just so happens to be shaped like an American football. You see, it would help if we understood where American football came from. American football was created by Walter Camp, a member of Skull and Bones. For those of you who don't know, Skull and Bones is a secret society whose symbol is the skull and crossbones, and under that, the number 322. The skull and crossbones is the Knights Templar's Marine battle flag. This is significant for a couple of reasons. The first being that Walter Camp is associated with a society that uses the symbol that the Knights Templar used for their Marine battle flag, which indicates a connection that the Masons also share. And, as you're about to see, ties right in to the red and blue colors of the Houston Texans. In this third-degree ritual for the Freemasons, a candidate is being resurrected from a figurative death, and from this moment on he will be a Master Mason. You can clearly see the skull and bone to the left, and this clearly shows a connection between the Knights Templar's Marine battle flag, the secret society Skull and Bones, and of course, the Freemasons. Whether or not you're familiar with Freemasonry, you can clearly see right here that the Masons have two pillars. One Boaz, strength, or Jachin, establishment, and together they provide stability. They, together, provide equilibrium. And as you'll see, this idea for two pillars extends all the way back to ancient Egypt and comes down to us from the Qumranians. These Freemasonic pillars are so important because they correspond to the colors red and blue, the colors of the Texans. You see, the pillar Boaz is blue, and the pillar Jachin is red. Therefore, the two Masonic pillars are red and blue, the same color of the American flag, the Pepsi logo, the Star Wars lightsabers, the Democrats, the Republicans, and the Houston Texans. The bull that's split in half by the white line, the red and blue bull. And as we stated earlier, when the red and blue pillars combine, they create an equilibrium, a middle path. They create a Vesica Pisces. And we know now that the football resembles a Vesica Pisces. And that is why this shot right here of the Texans with the red and blue gloves holding up a football in the middle is so significant. That shot right there was taken and posted by the NFL and symbolizes the red and blue's power lies not in choosing one, but in combining both. As represented by the football, the Vesica Pisces atop the team in the middle. So the Texans mascot, as we know, is the bull, the red and blue bull. But what you may not know is that Nike, the Greek goddess, slayed the bull. Now we know Nike is a brand. Nike shoes, Air Nikes, Air Jordans, and there they are, the Air Jordans. We know Michael Jordan himself played for the Chicago Bulls, and we know he had his own line of Nikes, as we can see. So, what does Michael Jordan have to do with the Texans and their bull? What does Michael Jordan have to do with any of this? Well, you see, it's very simple. Mike, he could fly. Man, could he fly. So you see, Mike could fly like an eagle. An American eagle. Yeah, that American eagle symbolizes a lot more than you might think. A red, white, and blue American eagle. Well, it's got two wings, sort of remind you of the two pillars of Freemasonry, the two parties of the political system we have here in America, the Democrats and the Republicans. Well, yeah, that's because those wings do signify those pillars, those two parties, the red and the blue. Yeah, both wings are controlled by the same brain though. And that's why it's important to remember that when you choose red or you choose blue, it doesn't matter, because you gotta combine them both to have any sort of function. So we've got two wings ruled by the same brain. And to further this point and illustrate just how connected the red and the blue and everything actually is, let's take a look at a can of Red Bull. You see, Red Bull gives you wings, sort of like an eagle. You got a can of Red Bull with two bulls, and you got the Texans logo with a bull split in two. Coincidence? I don't think so. In astrology, the bull is associated with Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. And Venus and the Earth together dance around the sun and make the five-pointed star, or the pentagram. The five-pointed star, which we know is on one half of the face of the bull, that is on the Texans' helmet. That is the Texans' mascot. Taurus can also be known as ER. ER is the second month in the lunar year. It represents the sign of Taurus, which was created by the Hebrew letter Vav. You see, Vav looks like a nail. And during ER, we have the force of judgment present in the universe. And Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is Noga. Noga in Aramaic means light. So Taurians, when confronted with a nasty situation, usually respond with indifference. This is because of that light, the light of Venus. There's always light shining on them. They never see the bad. They just keep grazing, like a cow or a bull who doesn't look up to see the fence. They're just focused on the grass, the sun is shining, and everything in their world is good. They just think the situation will right itself. The light will take care of it, they think. But you see, Venus moves from left to right because it moves from a spiritual energy of judgment toward a spiritual energy of mercy. And according to Dr. Philip S. Berg, judgment is the light's request for revelation. Discovering through judgment something that was previously unknown to us. That's what Taurus is all about. We have to make choices, or judgments. These choices are the choices to not be polarized, to choose the middle path, to get off of the quote-unquote gridiron. You see, Taurus, or ER, the month of Taurus, that's all about true healing and fulfillment. And true healing and fulfillment is our responsibility. The light radiating in ER inspires us to seek healing and fulfillment from within, according to Dr. Philip S. Berg. You see, we receive this healing by making choices, or the choice not to choose. You see, we can make our own luck.
Harvey, tell everyone the truth.
How did I go through with it?
This is your life. You can't leave something like that to chance.
I'm not.
You make your own luck.
Exactly. We make our own luck, just like Harvey Dent, a character from the Batman series who would later go on to become Two-Face. And what's interesting about this is that Two-Face bears a resemblance to the bull, the Texans bull, with half his face being red and half of the Texan bull's face being blue. Obviously, with Houston, the home of the Texans, just being hit by Hurricane Harvey, there's a lot to go on here. Hurricane Harvey dented Houston, pun intended. And with all the information that we have connecting across all the different platforms, we know that none of this is a coincidence. So when Bill O Brien decided to give a statement on behalf of the Texans after Hurricane Harvey, and the NFL decided that they would post that statement, with 3 of the words in that statement being highlighted in bold red, well, I had to check it out. So I took all 3 words and I anagrammed them together. And this is what I got. Once I discovered all the different anagrams that they came up with, things like amphiprostyle nu'u, pneumatolysis, hopro. Then we had things like harmoniously tops PE, photopolymers UNS AI, unsympathies loop ore, and pyrosulfates mu in or in. You see, all these basically were saying, and I went through all of them, was that they were combining things together, sometimes chaotically, sort of in the case of pneumatolysis hopro, the process of rock alteration. It was clear that they were combining things, doing some sort of alchemy, sort of like in the case of pneumatolysis, where the process of rock alteration and mineral formation is through the action of gases emitted from solidifying igneous rocks. And igneous just means fiery rocks, magma. So what they're saying to us is this is more of a spiritual alchemy. They're combining things. And we need to watch out for that, is what they indicate. If we don't pay attention, we're going to miss it. The red and the blue pillars are combining. The alchemy is spiritual. We're taking the middle path. which is indicated by the picture that the NFL placed in the background of Bill O Brien's statement, from which I found the 3 highlighted bold red words: Houston, play, promise. These are not random acts. They are carefully calculated. They do not leave anything up to chance. There are so many layers here that we could have only possibly ever explored the surface level of all of the information coded, all of the information given, and all of the messages that are coming through from all of the different sources. But this is a good starting point to start peeling back the layers and to remember that it's up to us to see and up to us to choose or not to choose. So until next time.
I'm just going to start with a little statement. Apologize for kind of writing this out a little bit, but football is obviously important, but I think the most important thing right now is doing everything we can for our city. I will tell you right now, we're going to dedicate this season to the city of Houston, the people of Houston. There are no guarantees in football. That's not what I'm here to say, but I will guarantee that this team will go out every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whenever they ask us to play, and we'll play our asses off for the city of Houston. I promise you that.